What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of Get Game Smart. I'm Steve, and today we're looking at another Teamfight Tactics VOD review. Again, we're on the PBE, playing another game of Hyper Roll. Unfortunately, Riot is doing a great job of continually updating the rules and doing their balancing, so I am working on a Hyper Roll guide that I'm definitely going to get out to you guys soon, so do like and subscribe to make sure you're up to date, as it will be launching before the PBE hits the live servers. With that being said, yeah, let's get into the VOD review. What is up, guys? Here we are in the VOD review. We end up with a Rod start off the carousel, which we're pretty happy with, honestly. As far as carousel starts go, I think like Rod's pretty good. I think Giant's belt's actually in a really good spot. I think Tier's in a really good spot. And I'd probably put Sword along with it. So like, I think those are my top 4 items right now. The only item I don't really like starting with is probably Chain Vest. It's probably the weakest start right now. If you've been playing on the PBE though, I'd love to hear from you what you guys have been starting on with your carousel, so comment down below. Because yeah, definitely trying to get a feel for what's good still so that I can provide the most up-to-date information that I can for you guys. So you'll notice that I rolled there at 3-1. Some people like to roll at 2-1. I like to roll at 3-1. The difference being, like, basically at 2-1 you can only get 1 cost unit, so you have a higher chance of getting pairs, but at 3-1 you can see 2 cost units, so you have a better chance of seeing different units, basically. I think the pairs are actually more important, so definitely not wrong to roll at 2-1, but I typically roll at 3-1 and have been experimenting with rolling at 2-1 as well. But I think I like rolling at 3-1 because like I was able to get the Soraka, for example, which is great, and like a good Morello Nomicon holder here, so I get off to a pretty good start with the Dawnbringer Brawler start. Yeah, and let me know as well down in the comments below what you guys are thinking about the little background music. I think it's kind of groovy here. Yeah, I'm just playing around with it. We'll keep it for this video. Credits are down in the description below. The music is from bensound.com. It's pretty groovy. Honestly, I'm really looking for just like a 6 to 12 second like audio clip as like a little jingle to play as an intro to my videos, maybe as an outro as well. But let me know, guys, if you like the background music as well, because maybe that could be a lasting thing. Who knows? We're trying stuff. We're trying stuff. Just like I have been on the PBE server, guys, we are trying stuff. So the meta is sort of starting to shake out on the PBE at least, and well, I say that, but really it changes each day with the new patches. I've really been hesitant to put out like tier lists or like composition guides so far because everything is changing really rapidly. Like we just got some big Hellion buffs, we just saw the 4 Brawler get buffed, we just saw Vel'Koz was absolutely irrelevant, and then a few days ago saw a buff, and now Redeemed is super top tier, so I think that we're about a week away right now from going live, and I think that things are starting to settle, but just when I thought that, I'm in the works of preparing a Hyper Roll guide for you guys, so definitely like and subscribe because you don't want to miss that. But the real issue is that a big section of my guide, being the focus on the early game, is made somewhat irrelevant by the changes they just made. The fact that it used to be if you won you got 2 early gold, and now if you lose you get 2 gold per round, so pretty big change actually, as it makes you more flexible in whether you want to roll early or sack early game. Yeah, I think it's actually a really good change overall, but it definitely impacts the guide that I will have coming out shortly. So yeah, that's part of the fun of playing on the PBE. Each day you go on, and I think Riot's gotten a lot better at balancing as we've gone along. I mean, this is set 5, so the team I think has just gotten a lot stronger at figuring out what tweaks can be made that aren't going to result in some things being absolutely insanely bonkers strong. So 4 Dawnbringer is super strong. I've got the Immortal Stone Plate, which is the new Gargoyle Stone Plate, the healing one on my Gragas, who is just insanely tanky. I've almost got another Gragas as well, so that will be looking at a Gragas 3-star, which will be super strong. Throw on the Unstable ZZ Rot, and yeah. So I think Dawnbringer is definitely going to be one of those compositions that is going to be good when the server goes live. I mean, it's one of the two major. There's Dawnbringer and Nightbringer are the two like biggest or most major traits. I guess Forgotten as well is probably the third, but sort of the theme of the set is night versus dark, and Dawnbringer is just really in a really good spot right now because it does a ton of healing. After you go down to 50% HP, you get a ton of healing. So it makes your units just like really resilient and tanky. Karma is the usual carry in this build. Obviously you get up to Garen eventually, but Karma is usually the itemized carry in this build. Good items would be like Ginsu's is actually really good on Karma, as well as like Morellonomicon's pretty good on Karma. I would say Hextech Gunblade is pretty bis, and Jeweled Gauntlet's good. Like AP items in general. I see Ginsu's because it lets Karma ramp up and get to the point where she's auto-attacking very quickly and getting off her cast after every auto-attack, obviously, after she's casted 3 times. So it feels pretty good. Definitely like Sojins or Blue Buff. Blue Buff over Sojins are definitely good items as well to let her ramp up, but have lower damage output at the higher levels, I suppose, or toward as the fights extend longer and longer. So I am making a mistake of greeting these items here. I believe I should be slamming stuff, but at the same time, there is so much to do in Hyper Roll, guys. I don't know if you've played it yet, but if you've played it already, then you'll forgive me, because it is just, yeah, there's a lot going on, and the rounds are happening very quickly, it seems. So between managing to keep rolling your gold and like thinking about who your next slot is going to be when you level up in the next round type thing, it's a lot of decision making. And yeah, our board is starting to fall off here though, so we definitely are in a position where we need to hit. We should have rolled more aggressively for the Gragas 3-star at level 6. If you're trying to 3-star at 1 cost, you definitely have to roll for it more aggressively in this build or in this game mode, because you just like can't stay at level 5 or 6 and roll indefinitely for 1 costs. So I do end up using the Nikos there to get the 3-cost Gragas finished up, and that's a huge power spike because with the items that he has quite a bit of resistances, so the extra health combined with his ultimate, which obviously is a flat damage reduction or a percentage damage reduction, it makes him really tough to move off the front line. Yeah, Archangel's Staff of Immortality, the Shadow Archangel Staff, is not good on Karma because her mana gets reduced to 10. So I thought about slamming that, and it would have been a good idea, but such is life. Such is life. I really did not itemize this Karma the way I should have, but because I hit the build relatively hard anyways, and I just kind of snowballed early, so puts us in a pretty good position nonetheless. Sojins is feeling really good this patch, guys, or on the PBE. Both Sojins and the Shadow Sojins are feeling really strong. There's a few really dead units in my build right now. Like, this Darius is a pretty dead unit. It would way rather be a Garen, obviously. But hey, we're making stuff happen. For those of you that are curious, this is played, like my count's sitting around 3,600 in the Hyper Roll rating. Hyper Roll rating is a little bit different. than the normal rating. It's just a number, there's no divisions or anything. But there's also no ranked and normal modes, so if you haven't been playing Hyperroll and it goes live, there's no normal mode to test it out in, so definitely stay tuned and keep watching so that I can explain to you guys how I feel the best way to climb in Hyperroll is going to be. So that guide will be coming close to in about a week when we go live with set 5 on the live servers. Pretty good trait synergies across the board, and this gives us a pretty well-rounded comp. It's actually the Soraka that's doing a surprising amount of damage. Soraka, I think, is way too much AP scaling right now or something. Like, her numbers just seem to be like a ton of... She's doing too much damage for how much utility she brings, because she also does like an AoE... It's not a silence, but it's kind of like an AoE Elise ability from set 4.5. Kind of like a Shroud, I guess, as well. And yeah, with just Morel and Omicron, that 2 stars, and Sojin's obviously, so she's casting more often than she usually is. She's actually like pretty hard carrying this composition. It's not quite as much damage as you would see out of the Assassin Soraka build, which is also really popular and is a hidden tech, which I think you should check out, but yeah, it's good enough for a second place. Cheers guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.